It turns out this is LEGO Star Wars' worst rated set as of May 2025. How's that happened? So, Ahsoka's Eater. What do I think about it? Well, it's a pretty good set, but let's break it down. Not the actual set. I will be modifying this into minifigure scale, probably doing a micro, and maybe we could even build this into a UCS Eater scale. We haven't got any UCS Eaters yet. But before we get into the ship, you're probably expecting me to start with minifigures. I'd like to start with spare pieces. You know, we get the usual, a rounded off 1x2, a cheese slope, a frying pan stud, a few Technic elements, a 1x1 tile. Never have too many of those. A nice saber hilt, and then not one, but two 6-length bars. As spare elements, I haven't verified this on Bricklink, though I'm sure many other people have been getting 2 of these, like we've been getting that extra Cassian hairpiece in the U-Wing. We got 2 Andor hairpieces in this set. This doesn't normally happen. Did they think one of them is a hat? Is Andor wearing a wig? Very weird if you ask me. I'm not used to getting so many of these spare big elements. And also, when we were building the brand new buildable R2-D2 from last year, but you know, the newest version, we got not 1, not 2, but 4 spare whip pieces. But we've got 2 whips, 1 in the big bag, 2 in the big bag, and 2 in the little bag. I'm thankful for the free Lego. I would just like to know if Lego were going to claim this back at any point. But on to the minifigures. A great selection of minifigures. Snips here is a really nice minifigure. The detail is pretty cool. And I'm only just noticing that that hip piece is brown compared to the dark red legs and torso. I didn't even notice that. Anakin is my favourite from the set, despite it being an Ahsoka set. And let's face it, we all bought it for Ahsoka. But Anakin's torso being brown looks so much better than the black that LEGO have given him for literal decades. We've been getting Anakin with a black torso for how long? And hopefully from now on it continues to be a brown torso, though I suppose it's really just down to the set designer. Before we get on to Ahsoka's droid, that's a whole nother story with the advent coming this year. The set designer Daniel, who we first saw speaking about the Kylo Ren helmet on my birthday stream, which so happened to also coincide with LEGO's Star Wars May 4th stream. That's awesome. All right, Daniel. Oh, it's Daniel. Oh, we all remember Daniel, don't we, from the April stream, the Star Wars stream in April. Oh, Daniel. What? Daniel was the model designer for something. Daniel's got to be for the Slave one. Daniel Logan is the name of the kid, I believe, that played young Boba. Daniel Lehman has done an amazing job with this set. Despite us finding out when we were building this live on the channel, we do go live building a lot of Lego, playing a ton of games, if you weren't already aware. This is Daniel's first Lego set inspired by Anakin's Eater a few years ago, and I must say this is a lot better than that one. Is this the Daniel that has compiled his own sets? It might be, yeah, because he's left a few notes. So Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor is his first officially released Lego set from Season 5, Episode 17, Sabotage. Yeah, it's one of the only times we see. Might be the only time we see Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor, because we see a Delta a bit more. It was designed to fit with a scale of the existing Interceptors, given a concept model built by one of the fellow designers that started going back to the most recent one, Anakin's, from 2020. I can definitely see some of the bits taken. We said about the blaster here, going along the front. But other than that, I would say it's a big improvement. Okay. Maybe this wing bit as well. This is looking to be the same. And the way the droid fits in. Yeah, there's definitely some bits that have been copied across. But Ahsoka's droid, it's a good droid. It's a solid droid. Nothing wrong with the design of this droid. But do we need 2 of them? Do we need 2 of Ahsoka's droid? Because we're getting a second one in the advent. And I can't help but think it would have been better if we got Plo Koon's droid with the body in the advent. Pretty much all the other droids are exclusive in some fashion. There's some recolors. 3PO is a mix-up of parts, making the very first time we're getting 3PO from The Rise of Skywalker with those red eyes, and Anzelon as well, throwing the Christmas Jawa. And then we have R7. I like the fact that we've got two. I will be creating a decal for the back of this astromech droid and uploading that to my website, linked in the description, with all of the others that I've created, because no back printing on the droids. It really needs to be common for LEGO to be printing on the backs. If they're doing it for R2 and Chopper, they can afford to do it for the other minifigures. You might be thinking that this is just one set. How many sets have we had R2 in? Like 5 already? I thought it was a lot more too. But we also have variations of R2. Chopper's shown up only in the Ghost. Swamp R2 has shown up once in a Dagobah diorama, and Christmas R2 is exclusive, and I assume will forever be exclusive, to the 2022 Advent Calendar. So that's already 3 exclusive droids with back printing. We've got to be getting them, especially if we're getting this droid twice in the Advent Calendar. That would definitely justify some back printing. But we're going to be talking a lot about the Advent Calendar this Christmas, so back to this set. It's a really nice model, even with the cockpit. I was very unsure about this when we built this Saturday, because it feels like a lot of wasted space at the back. But the fact that it's brick built is making me think a little differently about it. The thing we didn't like about the other cockpit was it was just one custom element for the cockpit. But if LEGO can make use of this new window piece for Ahsoka Zeta in other sets, which definitely for an escape pod, it's more of a rounded off slope compared to the one that already exists in LEGO. I would like it if they go forward with this piece, and please don't return to the old one. We're getting some bulky slopes on the back, which we've seen quite a few times, especially when it's concerning Baby Yoda or Grogu and his hover pram. But the cockpit is big enough to fit a full-size minifigure, despite Ahsoka using those 3/4 legs, which still do bend so you can see her inside. Her Leku are long enough to need the space of a fully grown minifigure, and we're getting that 1x2 printed sticker cockpit. LEGO could have used their printed piece, but they went with the sticker instead, because, well, I can't help but think it's because that's how eaters are just made. One modification I'd recommend making straight up is to do with the underside, and no, not removing this side bit, though I would love to. I just don't have another one of these 1x2 white pieces. Maybe I can steal it off Plo's Microfighter. But the biggest change I'd recommend comes at the back. You can see on this side we've got the 1x3 in white, which looks nice. It matches up to the same pattern we see on the front of Ahsoka's Eater, if you can make that out in the camera. But on the back, the way Daniel's designed it has a grey 1x3 piece on both sides, which does break up that same pattern. And whilst the pattern isn't as flush as it is on the top anyway, I do think using a white piece instead improves the look so much. And the best part is you don't need any spare pieces. This white piece that I've used on the right hand side comes from the top. I wonder if you can see where. There's a little, like 3/4 of a stud showing there. Even if I was to raise this, it fits in with the other grey wedge, so it's really not noticeable. But better yet, they could have just included 2 white 3x3s in the same set. I want to talk about this for a second, because I've noticed LEGO, ever since I've started complaining about the fact that LEGO use a million of the same pieces, they've started switching it up. We have a 1x2 wedge tile here, which appears not only in grey in this set, but also in white. There are a few exclusive pieces in Ahsoka's Eater. This might be the first Eater that has exclusive pieces besides just the cockpit and the fins, of which the fins aren't actually exclusive to this set. So we've got the 2 wedges, the cockpit, we've got the wedge plate in dark bluish grey. It's exclusive, and we get 2 of them in this set. The round 4x4 plate has shown up in like a million different sets, but in dark red, it's exclusive to this set. And then the sloped curve, which we've seen a load of. But on top of that, there's a load of rare elements and multicolored pieces, most of which are hidden on the bottom of the ship, used in grey as well as their dark red and white counterparts. Ahsoka Zeta isn't the only ship that's got that present. A few LEGO Star Wars models recently have had different colours of pieces, most of which the other colour is hidden and not seen whatsoever. And of course, we're getting our pinks, blues and reds and all the other colourful elements, of which there's not too many in this set, but I'm sure they hid a few at the bottom. This makes LEGO Star Wars sets a lot better for mock building with the different variety of colours. Especially if you're building a dark red and white mock, you've got those other grey pieces that you can use to bulk up your build, but it might be better in this scenario if they were the same colour. Another example besides the 3x3s are 1x2 plates or 1x2 elements in general. Underneath each side we get a 1x2 in, I think it's a dark bluish grey, though I could be mistaken, it could be light bluish grey. We get this grey 1x2 which doesn't really support any pieces in particular. We've got 7 studs holding down this tile and another 3 studs holding down this wedge. So instead of using that 1x2, which is present throughout this build, they could replace it with a either red 1x2 or a red 1x2 tile instead of a plate, just to make sure that there's none of that grey colour seeping through. Of course, these are Star Wars ships and we can't have Star Wars ships without that grey, but I do like the fact that LEGO have gone with different colours despite at the bottom it not looking as accurate to how I imagine the ship. I don't know if we get a good look at the underside of the Eater and if there is a grey underside that's more prominently seen than on top, but you can clearly tell this model was inspired by Anakin's Eater. It takes all the best things from Anakin's Eater. The fact that the droid can slot right in top, though again, like the ARC 170, you will have to pop off R7's head to rotate. The old Astromech droid did allow for a pin in the bottom, not legally, but it did fit. And I think an improvement to this droid body would be one soul stud on top. That wouldn't seem to affect any other builds that it's been involved in. And a pinhole in the bottom, perhaps one that can be removed by inserting a bar into that pinhole at the top with a hole running the entire way through, but I'll get round to 3D printing that eventually. Like Anakin's Eater, we not only have the droid space here, we have the blasters up front, which are taken exactly from that ship, and they've also mimicked that droid gap either side, which is fairly easy to pop straight off. In fact, you could not only pop it off both sides, but if you're planning on picking up the Plo Koon Microfighter coming out June 1st and not building the ship, but keeping the minifigures, you can use one of these 1x2 tiles to finish off this other wing so that they look the same, and just add that 2x2 jumper where we've got the gap down here so that you can add the head of R7. This time, we're not fitting the torso in the cockpit. On the inside of these wing flaps, we've also got 4 identical stickers. I can't help but think that this element could be printed, also because I am yet to use this same element in any other mock. This white piece here is used once in one of the Ninjago cars. I think it's for Zane. That's the White Ninja, right? But by printing them, it just gets rid of pretty much 99% of the sticker sheet. These two in the middle seem to be identical stickers. If you look at this one and then compare it to this one, and likewise these two are also identical. But for those of you that are questioning picking this up, it's definitely worth it. The fact that it's a lot more secure as well than the Anakin one, it feels stronger in hand. It might be a little beefier. I wonder if we've got more pieces in this than on Anakin's. But besides the minifigures, the ship is well worth it. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a UCS scout of the Eater, and I'll also be recoloring this after we make it minifigure scale to match Kenobi's Eater that we see in the opening of Revenge of the Sith alongside Anakin's we've already done here on the channel, and that ARC 170 that come out in January. But until then, thank you so much for watching till the end, and may the bricks be with you always.